Good evening, everybody. I am going live from my cell phone today, which I'm kind of excited about, honestly. But, well, oh my God, what a day, right? It is right now, I'm in Florida. It is 6:25 p.m. and I'm exhausted. Let me see if there's any cool little retail. Oh, period. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? So, if you see me playing with this, it's because I've never gone live. Well, I tried it last night. I went live on my cell phone just to kind of test it. And I love this. Oh my God, this is great. I'm going to use this more often. How about that? My goal is to go live a couple times a week. I would ideally like to go live a minimum of 4 times a week. I don't think I want to go live on Friday, but I would love to be able to go live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Excuse me. And then, yeah. And then maybe like on the weekend if I want to. What I would ideally like to do is create like a schedule where it's like people know I'm going live and you'll be there, right? All right. So, anyways, hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. This is a part of again within that my Dann Franklin brand. This is the Verified by Dan segment where we talk about verified pop culture news. And I give you a little bit of my wisdom. Some of y'all I'm old enough to be your uncle. Some of y'all I'm old enough to be your cousin. Some of y'all I'm old enough to be your child. Either way, I'm going to give you my perspective on some of the latest pop culture news. I can't talk about everything because there is a lot going on. And what I'm even realizing just in a day when you do this by yourself, there's only so much information you can take in and fully like understand and elaborate on if you're not just reporting on it. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I see I got 4 viewers. Do me a favor, like this video. It's a free way to support the video and let people know that you're enjoying the content. So thank you so much. Oh, looks like I got 13 views. That's awesome. Make sure you guys just like the video so that other people know that we're live and they can also enjoy the content. Thank you so much again. Hey, how are you? Thank you guys. Manny, thank you so much for watching. So I'm going to be talking about a couple of the recent things that have been popping up in the news cycle. And let's jump right into it. The first thing I'm going to talk about tonight is the Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva dynamic. So I'm a little late. I wanted to go live yesterday and talk about that. If you don't know, Tamar Braxton is an R&B singer. Funky Dineva is a commentary, a media commentary. Thank you so much for the like. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Even if you leave the video, just like the video. It really helps me get my name out there. So if you could do me a favor, just like that video. Let people know that I'm live. I really appreciate it. So they recently went out, I believe it was like last weekend for his birthday. The following day, Tamar, or like within a 24-hour period, Tamar posted that she had injured her face, she injured her teeth, and she was going to have to undergo surgery to fix the issues. It was very vague, and people were left thinking what actually happened. And if you are a fan or you keep up with Tamar, even if you're not a fan, if you know about Tamar, Tamar can be very problematic. Okay? She was on The Real. She's also on the show with her siblings, Braxton Family's Value. So Tamar can be problematic. We all know that if you know her. So the way in which she posted this information, it left people, hey, thank you so much. Monique, thank you so much for saying hi. And make sure that you like the video. That's a free way to support me. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming in. And if I can't read your message right now because they're a little on my phone, I'll make sure that I respond later to your comments because I do appreciate you guys for commenting. But yeah, so Tamar recently went through this whole, ordeal where she was injured. What happened is because Funky Dineva was with her the night before, she posted this online, which left everybody wondering and scrambling, like, what actually is going on with her? A lot of people start to, project that Funky had something to do with it, Funky Dineva. Again, shout out to Funky Dineva. He's from South Florida, like me. So people started to speculate, like, did Funky have something to do with it? Does he know what happened with her? Because she kind of went off the grid after she made this. Oh, cool. I have 23 people watching the live. Hey, make sure you guys like the video so that people know that I'm live. It's a free way to support me. Also, if you like pop culture news, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But there was this big uproar. He addressed it. People didn't like the way he addressed it. So yesterday, he went live at about 11 a.m. and basically, threatened Tamar that if her PR team did not reach out to him and that if Tamar did not put in a statement clarifying the fact that he had nothing to do with her injuries, he was going to divulge some private information about her. Now, personally, I thought that was messy. I think it's messy that Tamar did not clarify what happened to her because it did leave the door open for tons of speculation of her. I mean, Tamar's like a little girl. She's like in her 40s. So, and she's related to a global superstar. It's like you don't know the impact of this vague post that you made. Whatever. Tamar's going to be Tamar, definitely on brand. But Funky then responded, and I did not like the way in which I understand his frustration. But in my opinion, if Funky's going to continue to navigate, the industry the way I think he wants to and that he's capable of doing, he's going to have to use a lot more. He's going to have to keep himself, from getting too upset too quickly because I believe, he made himself look bad, just as bad as her. When people share private things with you, and then you have, mad day, and you just tell every goddamn thing, it doesn't make you look any better than the person, especially if you threaten to say, I mean, at that point, he should have just told us whatever the hell it was that he knew about her, because I think it's just as bad. You know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you guys remember this, but Jason Lee, who is the founder of Hollywood Live, I think, or Hollywood Unlocked. There was some recent things where he wanted to do an interview. It was about a year ago. He wanted to do an interview with Kelly Rowland. And instead of dealing with Kelly Rowland, PR team, and I think he was upset also that T.S. Madison was acknowledged and involved in the Beyonce album, Renaissance. And so he basically said, like, if Beyonce or Kelly did not do an interview, or it was Kelly, did do an interview with him, he was going to, start divulging all this information about Beyonce, which, I'll be honest with you, it's a lot of artists that you can get away with talking shit to. Beyonce's not one of them, okay? Beyonce's fan base is so strong, and I think her relationships in the industry are so strong that if you talk shit about Beyonce and you're just starting off, it's probably gonna be the end for you. And I think his career has kind of plateaued since then, in my humble opinion. I feel like Jason Lee's platform significantly stunted the minute he started talking shit about Beyonce. Because Beyonce's not problematic. You can say whatever you want about Jay-Z and, blah, 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 but Beyonce is not problematic. And we all know that. So when he was threatening to Most things about her, it was like, bro, that's not Kelly Rowland doing an interview with you or not has nothing to do with Beyonce. Anyway, I went on a but that's what this reminds me of a little bit. If he has a relationship with her that we're going on with her, that should be private issue. And then and there were confirmed reports that Tamar was legitimately injured. So whether or not we like the way in which she communicated her injuries to us, that's one thing, which I agree. I think the way in which Tamar brought this to the public's attention, I mean, she could have waited. We did not, baby, if you need to talk to a dentist, you could have called your Amex concierge for that. I'm sure you have plenty of celebrity friends who know great dentists and plastic surgeon. I mean, baby, you could have DM'd the Kardashian if you really wanted to figure out, if you needed to do reconstructive surgery or you need a dentist to fix your teeth. And then collaborated with your PR team to share that you had a recent situation. Because I think she did it and kind of went off the grid, and I'm sure she was dealing with that, and that's traumatic. Plus, she still has a life going on. Hey, don't make sure that you guys like the video. Thank you so much. That's a free way to support the channel. I appreciate you. But at the end of the day, she did have an incident, and so I thought it was poor taste of him to go on a tangent in the way he did. But you could tell he was legitimately upset. Now, I will say this about Funky Dineva, because I watch Funky Dineva. He always says you cannot disrespect somebody and then tell them how to respond to it. So he says that. He always says, you can't do something to me and then tell me how I'm supposed to react to it. So to be fair, we already know how he thinks, his expectations when you are dealing with conflict with him, and he expects for you to deal with it head on. So I don't know the depths of their relationship. I think their relationship was very superficial, very industry, very flaky. I don't know if Tamar to have any really substantive relationships in the industry. She seems to have these little quick friendships and then they kind of fizzle out. So I don't know. What I will say is I did not like how that played out, and I hope they can come together. But I mean, she apparently got the message because shortly after that, she did release a statement. But let's move on to what happened today. Tamar released a video where there's a dentist that's from Miami. And if you go to my pages, to my socials, I've already posted a short form video or shorts and TikToks about this. I have the whole video, but I also elaborate on it. But basically talking about the incident and talking about the way in which I think they approached it was from an informational standpoint. Basically, the doctors describing Tamar's injuries. There are some very graphic photos. I don't have the stomach to look at teeth and like broken teeth. And then there's also the doctors talking about what they did for Tamar, what her plan of care is, meaning like over the next few months, but also gave advice on how to handle a similar situation. She alleged or alluded to the fact that Tamar must have had some like night walking spell, which ended up with her injuring herself. Do we know if this is what happened? No, but this is the most information that we have coming from Tamar's camp about what may or may not happen to her allegedly. Knowing Tamar and what she's done in the past, we'll probably get the full story in during the rollout of her album. Another part of it, she released these videos the days before. I think that's what kind of upset Funky Dineva about, a trailer for her upcoming song. There was a rumor that her and Mendeezy was dating. So all of this is going on, but she's not addressing the fact that there were these whispers or these, rumblings about Funky being involved. Listen, I'm just going to keep it real. Tamar gives me the vibes of a woman who hangs around people and leverages them for her benefit. That's just the vibe I get from her. As a gay man, we all know that girl who, wants you to boost her ego up as far as, you know, when she's going through something, but then, she's not really invested in you because it's just about her, and she kind of gives that vibe. And so I don't think Tamar really gave a damn that he was going through that, which is why he was so upset. And she was focused on what she was dealing with. And I also can understand wholeheartedly if you have a medical emergency that you're going to be focused on dealing with that. But that is why, as a woman of her age and her supposed status, I would have imagined her handling it with much more care, given all of those consequences, all those different dynamics. But I mean, Tamar just keeps reminding me she is a gutter butt. I think Tamar's a little ghetto. She's hood, and even the way she handles conflict is indicative to just some wretched hood rat. I'm sorry, I'm just keeping it real. And I like Tamar, but I expect more from her, and she handled this like, what's that little girl? A girl from the baddies, pretty much. This is how Natalie Nunn would handle an incident, and that's not what I expect from her. But whatever. Anyway, I do have some questions. I do want to know what you guys think. Do you think this is a PR stunt? Do you think she's really being transparent? Let me know in the comments. I'll make sure that I read them if you watch this later, and I can respond to your comments. I want to know what you guys think, because I know what I think, but maybe you guys can provide another perspective from me. So Lil Nas X was released on a $75,000 bond. The judge has requested that he attends an outpatient drug rehabilitation program. He then went live on Instagram stating, and I quote, your sister's going to be okay. And also saying that the experience of being in jail was terrifying. Listen, I am not shocked to see, I'll be honest with you, people in the industry, they're around a lot of substance, whether it's drinking, it's drugs, it's normalized in the industry. And when you add on being a gay man on top of that, where using, drugs is normalized in the gay community, that's a recipe for disaster if you don't have the capacity to look out for yourself. Because even people that think they are looking out for you, they may not know where you are mentally, psychologically. And, I think the last few years with the failed rollouts of his recent music, the backlash from the content, from the religious imagery that he used in Montera, to the last video, our album, our rollout that flopped, where he also did something about, with Jesus Christ, or with, Christ. On top of being a artist who, came out and then now telling everyone he's, gay, he's dealt with a lot of rejection, a lot of failure, so a lot of highs and lows. I mean, even though Old Time Rodeo was like a #1 hit, he hasn't had really any major mainstream success since that. And so I think he's been trying to recreate that same level of fandom and interest in his music that he hasn't since, And even though I think we confuse infamy with fame, you can be infamous and still not necessarily famous, or are people celebrating you? And I think he's been more infamous recently than like someone that people really enjoy. And kind of giving off trolly vibe. I mean, he might as well hang out with Tamar at this point too, because they're giving similar vibes. So yeah, I think that as far as that whole situation, I think he needs to seriously consider the people he's around, the things he's been doing, and make sure that he's not on top of trying to figure out and navigate from a branding perspective, the direction in which his career needs to go, because I'm sure financially he's taking a hit. But he also has to think about like doing it in a way where he's healthy. Like you can't be out here on drugs and trying to really focus on your career. I'm sorry. And I think he really needs to take some time to regroup. And I think rehab would be great for him. His family has also put out statements basically saying that he doesn't have a drug problem. I mean, listen, something was going on. There's other videos where you can tell he's under some influence. I don't know what he's under. He could be taking too much caffeine pills. I have no idea. But there's definitely some signs that something's going on with him. And I really hope he gets help. So I hope that this isn't the beginning of, you ever see their stars that they have their first like incident and it just perpetuates until they wake up? Like Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, like they almost have to keep hitting their head. They think that they don't have a problem, and if they don't address it, it just snowballs. And I don't want that for him, because there are a lot of people, because he did the Jesus imagery, that just don't like him, and the immediate statement is, oh, well, that's what happened when you play with God. And I'm just like, well, does everyone play, everyone that has a drug addiction or whose careers start to deteriorate because they play with God? Or is that just one of the ups and downs of being in the entertainment industry? And I think that the healthier you are mentally, physically, the easier it is for you to navigate those challenges, because they're just gonna come. It is what it is. All right, next topic. I don't know if anybody even cares about this, but French Montana is married to a Dubai, is married or engaged to the Dubai princess. I think in one of my videos I said to a Dubai princess. There's only one. I just want to clarify that. But either way, I don't really think anybody cares, even though it was on some of the major news cycles. TMZ reported it. E News also reported it. I don't know if anyone really cares. She has been linked. Now, just to kind of give you some background, this is the same lady who divorced her husband, or the prince, online. There was like it was all over the news maybe 2 years ago. She divorced him and declared their divorce on Instagram. So it went viral. She's been linked to other celebrities since then. I believe she was linked to Drake at one point. But apparently she's in love with French Montana, and he has now proposed to her. My question is, do you think this is a real relationship? Or is this just headlines? And, is French Montana really serious about this? I mean, I don't think she would know. But I mean, I'm just thinking, like, who the hell wants to marry French Montana? I mean, I'm like, where did that come from? So it's just giving desperation, and I don't know. But I don't know him, so maybe he's a great guy. Time will tell. But anywho, on to the next. I'm not really into Love Island USA, but the kids like it apparently. But Ace, one of the cast members, spoke in an interview stating that Nick's relationship with the young lady is fake, basically. These are my thoughts about that, and I did a short form video on it. I think all reality television is fake. I don't think any of it's fake. I think it might have some real elements to it, but I believe it's 90% of it is scripted, and there might be some, real reactions and elements to the scenarios. And I do think that people know by now, if you're on a reality show, this is my thoughts. This is a recipe for success or to stay relevant. I mean, everybody wants to be a content creator, or more importantly, I think I should say this, people want to monetize themselves. They want to be able to monetize whatever they're doing, right? So we all know that if you're on these reality shows, especially a relationship one, and you don't have a relationship, you just fade off into the distance. Nobody remembers you, and it's just like you were never there. But if people fall in love with your story, and they're like, oh my God, this is my favorite couple, you guys date, you're gonna gain more viewers, interest. You mix that with a biracial couple, child, please. Okay, are you two attractive people, whether they're biracial or not? But you add an element of like the taboo of like a white guy dating a black girl and she's beautiful, he's attractive. We probably would normally, they would have normally not dated like those particular people. Not saying biracial people don't date, of course they do. I'm talking about that couple. Everybody's interested, or whatever, invested in having a social relationship with this couple now, and they're like all invested. We've seen it time and time again. The couples that don't stay together, or people that don't date, or that are douchebags, they disappear. We don't even hear about them anymore. So I do think cast members go into these shows knowing that, and if they meet someone and they like them a little bit, it's like, hey, we're gonna milk this for all we got. And I do think that's a thing. Can I confirm that happens? No, I'm not on any of these reality shows. I haven't spoken personally to anyone, but I think over the next 10 years, as reality TV continues to evolve, people start telling the truth. Like, these people are not in love, a lot of them. Now, are there people that met and fell in love? Yes. There's a few couples, I won't say their names, but I think they genuinely are in love. But it's usually like the first season. After that, everyone else is like, they know the blueprint and they're like, let's just milk this. And so I think it's harder at that point because people come into the show with an expectation or with a game plan, and they're not as genuine. That's my opinion. I want to know what you think. Also, is Ace in jeopardy of like being sued by, I think it's Paramount Pictures. I forget the network that owns the rights to that show. I mean, I'm sure he signed a non-disclosure that he's not allowed to even talk about the details of these things. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it has nothing to do with once the show is done, how that works, the parameters, but I'm sure they covered that. So he might be getting a cease and desist, as well as the news outlet that posted that, because I mean, that's just not good for their ratings. Even if people kind of think it's fake, people will love the illusion that it's real, and that takes away from it, and they may not keep him. So, all right, next story. Taylor Swift engagement ring is trending. It is allegedly valued at almost $500,000. Okay. And a lot of jewelry experts and just people in the wedding industry are stating that this could be a new trend. Recently, we went from people went from like source diamonds, because obviously it's not the most humane way they've been getting diamonds. And so people have now been into the oh my God, I can't think of the name of them, but lab grown diamonds, right? Because they were able to create, they sold us on quality of the diamond based off the clarity. And now they can actually make a diamond in a lab that has better clarity than, an actual diamond, and it's ethically sourced. No little African kids are being murdered, in mining caves to get this diamond that is now in America that you're wearing, and you don't realize it's literally the blood of children for you to wear that diamond. So there were a lot of social, as well as economic reasons why lab-grown diamonds became super popular in the last, 20 years. But they're saying that this could now become a new trend. So legacy diamonds, repurposed diamonds are now going to be the new trend. I'm not into diamonds like that, so I could care less. I don't see myself getting a diamond ring anytime soon. Oh, and that goes into my next conversation. I don't really care. People were saying how Travis Kelce was in his relationship with, I can't remember her name. It's a black girl. He was with the black girl for like 5 years, and then he never proposed to her. But he's only been with Taylor Swift for 2 years. And they're like, oh, whatever, guys that won't marry a girl in order to marry the girl that they really want. My opinion is because, okay, let me say this. I've thought about that at different times in my life, because I've been in long-term relationships with people, and I've been engaged, right, with that person, but we did not get married. And then by the time now I also have to say this because, hey, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like. It's a free way to support my channel. When I was with my ex, right, of 11 years, marriage wasn't legal when we first met. So if we were able to get married at a younger age, we probably would have gotten married within the first 2 to 5 years of our relationship. But it wasn't legal. Wait, so I think it wasn't legal the first 3 years of our relationship. And then once it was legal, I actually kind of wanted to wait. We both wanted to wait. And so then we got engaged, I think at our like 10th or 11th year, and then we broke up. Now, I've never been in any long-term relationship without the intention of potentially marrying a person. Like, I'm not going to date you seriously unless I think you are a potential candidate for marriage. That's just me personally. But apparently, they're talking about people that just date people with the intention of not marrying them, kind of just having them as like a placeholder. Let me make this clear. I don't think anyone's any placeholder because you're just as valuable as the person, okay, sorry, who may be quote unquote, I think I might be frozen. Okay, I'm not frozen anymore. Who might be quote unquote making you a placeholder. Because baby, you don't have to stay with nobody. The minute you feel like somebody is wasting your time, making you a placeholder, it's time to wrap that up. You don't have to stay with nobody. The time you're wasting with them, you could be meeting the person that is actually ready to, secure the bag and be your partner and be your life partner. So I'm saying that in the context of like, don't be a victim. I don't feel like a victim because me and my ex went off and got married. I think now I think him and his husband are currently working on like adopting a kid. That's his life. Good for them. I wish them well. I have my own goals and dreams, and I'm working on me, and I'm working on what I want in the context of a relationship and in my life, and I'm gonna do that in my own timing with who I want to do it with. And I don't think just as fast as you could have been married, you could have been divorced. So listen, if it ain't right, it ain't right. So I just don't subscribe to that. I think at times when I was younger, maybe I thought that because I thought it had to do something with me, but it really doesn't. Like, you don't need anyone to validate your worth and your value. And just because someone hasn't yet doesn't mean someone won't. And I think honestly, if you wait for the appropriate partner, they're going to be better for you anyway. Sometimes at different ages, our priorities are different. And as we age, we value other things. And that partner thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like the video. I appreciate the view. Maybe you evolve in that partner that you thought that at one point you wanted to marry. You don't even want to marry them anymore. We're like, yeah, they're not a fit for me long term. So I'm glad I didn't marry that person, or I didn't marry this person, because now I would have to go through a whole, divorce, like ill. Anyway, I just want to give my thoughts on that. So yeah, don't let nobody play in your face and make you feel no kind of way. Good things come to those who wait and get what's meant for them. Okay? And what's meant for you is meant for you. All right, this is another thing I want to talk about really quickly. Simon Guobadia is talking again. Look at my face. I am so tired of this man. The more I learn about Simon, Porsche's ex-husband, and I'm talking about Porsche Williams, but her ex-husband, the more I realize that man is a classic narcissist. When you think about how he loved, and I'm not saying Porsche is not negligent, meaning Porsche's a grown-ass woman. I think it was messy that she married him the way she did, the way she met him, and she got her, she's gotten her karma for that. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like the video. It's a free way to support my channel. I appreciate you. But let's be honest about this. Simon is a narcissist. Okay? When you break down this whole relationship, the love bombing at the beginning, classic narcissist. Narcissists always love bomb you when they meet you. They always tell you they've been waiting their whole life for you and you're the one, and the last one wasn't good, but you're the one. They gift you, they do things with you, they do extravagant things with you to hook you and get you involved. And then the mask starts to come off, and then you find out all the truth about that person. Now, I want to be clear. There's nothing wrong with meeting somebody and being like, hey, I want to do something special for this person, or I want to show this person how much I love and appreciate them, or I want to share something, I want to expose them to something. There's nothing wrong with that. But when that is in conjunction with other character traits, okay, baby, you are dealing with a narcissist. You are not dealing with someone that is just healthy. That person is feeding a need that they have, and you're a part of that need. There is something about you that maybe alivens them, they're excited about, but they're not even connected to you. They're connected to how, whatever attachment they have about you or whatever fantasy they have about you. They're not really interested in getting to know you. And so once we learned about all of the financial issues that were going on, the deception, he wasn't being honest about a lot of things. I mean, the man is a scammer from the 80s, okay? He's been doing this. And then, when we hear how he talks about Porsche, he takes no responsibility. He's always the victim. Babes, you're on your 5th fucking divorce. Pardon my French. When are you going to take some accountability? It's giving you the common denominator. And I'm not saying Porsche is innocent, but we're talking about Simon. Simon exhibits clear narcissistic character traits. Am I a doctor and I can say he is? No. But based off the traits he's exhibiting constantly online, it's classic. It's and I'm so shocked that women are still talking to him. There's a girl recently talking about him and saying how he basically tried to scam her out of money. And I'm just this man is on the national news, or at least on national blogs, going through a divorce with a huge with a cast member for one of the biggest reality shows on TV right now. What? You don't know who this man is? Do better, sis. But allegedly I said all that to say, he's a hot ass mess. And it goes into what I'm going to talk about. He alleged in the court documents from the divorce that Porsche was making anywhere from $8 to $9 million a season. Now, let me say this. I don't know enough about what these people make or whatever, but I know damn well for a fact they're not paying Porsche Williams, Nene Leakes, any of those cast members on RHOA $9 to $8 million a season. It's not happening. Could I see them making $1 million, $2 million? Yes. 1.5, million. Yeah, I could see that. But I don't see them paying these people $9 million. Again, he's exaggerating the numbers like he always does. I mean, even in the divorce, we found out he was claiming the amount of money he was making in his business were not true. Because when you go to court, you have to actually bring proof. So, I mean, he's such a liar that it's bro, why say it if you can't even provide the financial documents to support what you're saying? So, Porsche I want to be clear, Porsche has never stated this. Bravo has never stated this. No one on Porsche team has ever stated this. This was stated in the legal documents that have since been reviewed from their divorce. So again, the man is a scammer. Apparently, there's all these liens. There's a $250,000 lien on the home they shared because he did not pay in the agreement. He was supposed to pay her legal fees for the divorce as well as his. He has not paid them. So yeah, that's that on that. And now there's a lien on that house. Child, he's a scammer. Okay, I want to talk about this really quick and I'm going to leave. I said I was going to be here for 30 minutes. I've been here an hour. Okay, there's this Tampa pastor, apostle, who is on the news for embezzling money from the parishioners. And this guy, like, he lives in this luxury home. He has these people working for him for free that he calls an armor bearer. And if you ever grew up in the church, you know what an armor bearer is. This person that brings the pastor their water and their rag and grabs their Bible after service. You know, they basically are like a butler to the pastor while they're at church. That's what an armor bearer is. He has people that are working around the clock. Apparently, now this is all alleged. You know, emotionally, physically abusing them because basically they can't leave the church or leave this compound. He's limiting their access to food to outside to their family. They have to work for free in order to get certain privileges. So they're basically saying this is some type of like, it's abuse basically. And I think he may be being faced with some federal charges due to this. There's also money embezzlement, things going on, money laundering that was stated in the news that I saw yesterday. But this pastor was on the news like 10 years ago or has a deposition that is online that you can watch. I said all that to say, why the hell are y'all still going to these people that we already know are scammers? I cannot believe this man who has public depositions for being sued for misappropriating church funds, for misfiling to the federal government in tax fraud, how he was using the church money, you know, buying homes and luxury cars. Why are people at this church again? The only thing I can say is, yes, there are people who don't watch the news, who may have not known, you know, but like, why is he able to do this again? And this is the thing about you people. I just want to say this. For you scammers and people that are out here doing bullshit to people, you may not get caught today, or you might have got away with it before. Baby, you're going to get caught. Because the more you get this is the thing that people don't realize. Sometimes getting caught the first time when you are doing something wrong is a blessing in disguise. Because if you, child, don't make me preach. Y'all know I'm a preacher. If you turn from that behavior and you do the right thing, you save yourself future shit down the line. Listen, R. Kelly got in so much trouble back I think it was 2000 or 1997 when that video came out. Instead of R. Kelly getting his life together, going to get help, changing his behavior, he just was like, nah, I'm just going to be more sneaky. This man is in jail for life now. He's never getting out. He got to get out of jail card before. Like, he was even back in the industry. Like, people were buying, he was selling his music. People had forgot about it. I mean, this was back when you could do stuff and people would forgive you and you can come back. But he kept doing that shit, and look at him now. How many times have Puff Daddy been caught up in stuff? And look at him now. Look at the situation he's in. Listen, do not ignore your warning. Do not ignore it. Failure to comply will result in further disciplinary action. That's my HR bag. Listen, if you are lucky enough to get called out for something the first time, it will behoove you to not do it no more. But because when that devil or that ego tell you, oh, you got away with it, you good, and you go out and do more, and you think you slicker this time, oh baby, you getting caught up. You're gonna be caught up for the okie doke. Then you'll be online like him saying, oh, I'm a victim. No, bruh. You literally got out of jail, but the first time you should have been under the jail for what you did back then. And you were writing music for Whitney Houston's comeback album. And you were still out here doing bullshit. So I have no sympathy for you once you have already been given a second chance. I do believe in second chances, but I also think second chances can be setups for people who don't have the mental capacity to know, hey, I need to really change what I'm doing. Because they end up worse off. That's kind of what I said about Nas X. If Nas X can get his shit together, this could be, the wake-up call he needs to move forward. But if he thinks, oh, I'm just going to pretend like nothing happened, I'm not on drugs, baby, you're going to be cracked out in a couple years, and we're going to just be saying, child, he went to jail 2 years ago for drugs that time. Now let it go. Just get it together. So anyway, please stop giving these people your money. What did Maya Angelou said? I think that's going to be my mantra, honey. When people show you who they are the first time, believe them. If somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Stop letting them keep doing the same thing and going like, oh, well, I thought there can't be anything different. Because that's who they are. They're showing you, this is who I am. Because guess what? If that wasn't in them, they wouldn't have did it anyway. I don't have to tell someone not to do something illegal that knows it's illegal. The fact that I have to tell you, or people have to tell you, oh yeah, you shouldn't engage in, blah, blah, blah with blah, 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 essay with, blah, blah, blah. Baby, you should already know that. That's against the law. Oh, you shouldn't take money from, poor churchgoers. I should have to tell you not to do that? The fuck? I should have to tell you not to abuse your leadership or the positions you're in just because you're the boss? You should already know that. That shows that you lack character to begin with. Now, do people make mistakes? Of course people make mistakes. But some of y'all just are revealing who the fuck you really are, and who you are you may not pay today. You may not even pay tomorrow, but you gonna pay. All right, that's all that I have. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dan Franklin. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you like this content, make sure you share the video or my shorts with someone that that you think will enjoy it. Let them know, say, hey, there's this kid named Dan Franklin. He's kind of cute or whatever. He could be your uncle, he could be your nephew, he could be your son, but he is that boy, and he's definitely making sure that we have the latest pop culture news sprinkled with a little wisdom and my personality. I love you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.